And we welcome you in to the News at 5. So what could be done to prevent another flooding tragedy in San Antonio? That is the question the city is asking after water swept drivers to their deaths back in June.
So Garrett Berger is joining us live from where the water rushed over the road along Beitel Creek. This is not far from Loop 410 and Perez. And Garrett, you've looked over the city's report about this flood. So should anyone have known that this could happen?
This is the big question, isn't it? Now, the city hired an engineering firm, Kleinfelder, after the flood, which killed 11 people around Beitel Creek, which is looking low and just kind of trickling through behind me today. Now, they didn't quite answer that question, or at least not go as far as to say that. But they did say predictive modeling was available at the time of the flood, but it was, quote, unclear how the information was distributed and how it resulted in response to the potential flooding forecasted. And while they say modeling showed a flooding possibility was possible for that area, Kleinfelder says it didn't show it being as bad as it ended up being. Heavy vegetation in the area just north of the access road appeared to hold back more of the water than modeling had accounted for, leading to those waters rising higher than models would predict. Now, the access road was also built in a sag, but the firm says it's not clear whether it was designed to be flooded. But now we know that it can be, though. They made several suggestions about gauges and warning signs, sensor systems, and updated flood models. And also that the city should work with TxDOT to protect the road from high-risk flooding, including possibly raising this roadway. And they need to clarify whose responsibility it is to maintain these nearby vegetated areas. Now, right now, that report is being discussed and presented in a special session in front of the city council. It was supposed to start earlier this afternoon, but it has been delayed. Just started a few minutes ago. We are planning on streaming that live on KSAT.com. So if you want to follow along and hear directly from the engineering firm yourself, you can head over to our website and actually watch that live stream. Now, over here at Beitel Creek, we'll be bringing you more coming up at 6 o'clock about what that report included, about the contributing factors, and what can be done so this does not happen again. Live at Beitel Creek, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Garrett, thank you. All right, so the longest government shutdown in U.S. history is now in day 36, and airports across the country are bracing for some major impacts. Yeah, let's take a look at some of these airports. This is Chicago, Denver, airports in Houston as well. Starting tomorrow, flight capacity will be reduced by 10% at 40 major airports. So far, San Antonio International is not on that list. So this decision was made by the Federal Aviation Administration after some reports of staffing shortages because of the shutdown. Now, the FAA also announced that thousands of flights could be cut per day. So let's take a look at current delays at airports around the country. As you know, most people flying out of San Antonio do have to make a connection somewhere at some of these major airports. This is the FAA's airspace status system. So you can see it's not a widespread problem, but some places do have issues, like in Boston, for example. You can click here. And this is what we've seen at a lot of different airports around the country. It says that airports are closed just to non-scheduled air traffic, and then delays also noticed as well. This one says a 200-minute delay, so a couple hours people are delayed for anybody flying out of Boston right now. All right, and some of these are other smaller airports as well around the country. So let's bring you to San Antonio, shall we? And take a look at air traffic at San Antonio International right now. These are the departures, and toward the top here you can see, and you mentioned Boston, this is a Delta flight to Boston that is delayed right now, and there are a couple that have departed. So these are the departures. We'll take a quick look at the arrivals, and it looks like everybody's getting here on time. So this is real time right now, again, out of San Antonio International. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Now, speaking of the San Antonio International Airport, that is where we find our Pashada Pope this afternoon. Pashada, so what do local air travelers there need to know?
Yes, I think I can.
So sometime tomorrow, air travel here could be dicey. That's across the country, as the airlines are expected to cut flights at most of the major airports and hubs. So getting through the airports could be a headache, but knowing how to maneuver the cancellations and delays could help keep you grounded.
The FAA is directing airlines to cut flights at the country's 40 busiest airports in response to the ongoing air traffic controller shortage amid the government shutdown. Texas's DFW, Dallas Love Field, Bush Houston Intercontinental, and Houston Hobby airports are on the list. San Antonio International Airport was spared, but travelers heading to any of the 40 big airports are not in the clear. A statement released by the airport reads in part, "While we are grateful that San Antonio International is not among the airports identified by the Federal Aviation Administration, it is possible that travelers may be impacted by reductions in service at other airports."
If they haven't purchased travel insurance, we do recommend them do that.
Sheila Kilpack and her husband own Cruise Planners Grandmaster Travel and say they've been telling their clients know what's covered if they have or buy travel insurance.
You really need to look at the details of the coverage because it'll be different if it's coming from the airline or what your credit card may cover.
She's also suggesting travelers have a backup plan already in place should the worst happen. And don't be shy to ask the airlines to assist you.
Can you drive to the destination? Can you go by rail or another alternative mode of travel? If you're at the airport and now the cancellation comes up or the delay, like a long delay, you're going to be overnight, ask them for a meal voucher. Ask them for a hotel voucher.
Again, those mass cancellations are expected to begin tomorrow. Now, Kilpack is suggesting to her clients that if you are heading out to the airport, make sure you download the airline's app and make sure you turn on the notifications so you can take action immediately if you learn your flight is canceled. At the airport, Pashada Pope, KSAT 12 News.
All right, Pashada, I'm sure a lot of nervous travelers if anybody's got flights scheduled in the coming days. Let's take a look at travel out on the roads right now. Loop 410 at Cherry Ridge. And really in both directions here, it's heavy traffic, very slow going. You can see it looks like two vehicles off to the side there. Not sure if that was a stalled vehicle situation or a fender bender, but traffic is very heavy east and westbound 410 at Cherry Ridge. Adam.
Feeling a little spring-like out there today. 83 was our high temperature. Right now we're at 82. Dew point of 56, not overly humid, but more moisture in the air than what we've had days past. Widespread 80s, even 88 Eagle Pass, 87 right now. Del Rio, 84 Shirts Windcrest at 80 degrees. Temperatures falling off, but not all that quickly this evening. Relatively comfortable, actually. 7 o'clock we're 77. By 9 o'clock we're at 72. And 11 o'clock at 67. So it's not like days ago when you'd want to really pack that light jacket for evening activities because we're not going to see the temperatures fall off that quickly and that steeply. Tomorrow morning, we wake up to the upper 50s here in town, some mid 50s in outlying areas. Also, another round of patchy fog. Now, I think the computer model is a little aggressive with the fog forecast for tomorrow. Just be prepared to have some reduced visibility on the roadways from 4 a.m. through about 8 a.m. And then it's nothing but sunshine. Record challenging heat. Then it's whiplash with a strong cold front. Coldest air yet on the way. See you in a bit.
An investigation is underway in North Texas after Dallas Cowboys defensive end Marshon Neland was found dead of a possible suicide. According to Frisco police, state troopers tried to pull over the 24-year-old Neland for a traffic violation last night. Instead of stopping, Neland tried to take off, leading troopers and Frisco police on a chase. Officers lost sight of Neland's car, only to find it a few minutes later where it crashed. While officers searched for Neland, they got word that he may be suicidal. They found him 3 hours later, dead with a gunshot wound. Coming up later in sports, what the Dallas Cowboys are saying about Neland. Guys?
All right, Larry, thank you for that. Meanwhile, a local emergency shelter for foster kids needs help. They say they are on the verge of shutting down.
This is True Light Village. It sits on 10 acres near Seguin. It is a home for children who have no other place to go. And right now, 28 kids live there. But the facility's director says they are running out of money to keep the doors open. We have covered True Light over the years and the amazing things they do there. They say that they need about $50,000 to stay afloat. Inflation and dwindling donations have made it hard to keep up.
They already couldn't find a home or else they wouldn't be here. So it's hard to get to the point of having to make those choices because these kids so desperately need people to say yes to them.
True Light posted a plea for help online, and so far just under $4,000 has been donated. For more information, you can scan the QR code on your screen or search True Light Village on KSAT.com.
Meanwhile, the defense called two of their own forensic experts to the stand in the trial of three former San Antonio police officers accused in the killing of Melissa Perez. She is the woman who was shot and killed in her apartment back in 2023 while having what has been called a mental health episode. Testimony wrapped up for the day just a few minutes ago. So this morning, 3D forensics expert Angelos Leilaglu took the stand. He presented his own 3D recreation of the shooting scene. His findings show that Perez was closer to the officers when she was shot, which would contradict what was in the original police report. Then this afternoon, forensic criminologist Dr. Ron Martinelli took the stand. He testified that the actions the officers took were justified. It found guilty former SAPD officers Eleazar Alejandro, Alfred Flores, and Nathaniel Villalobos each face up to life in prison. Now, we are live streaming this trial from beginning to end. Testimony is expected to continue again tomorrow morning, and you can watch it live on all of our streaming platforms and KSAT.com.
Charges have been downgraded for two more teenagers accused in the death of a 14-year-old SAISD student. Fernando Flores and Andrew Cantu were originally facing capital murder charges for the death of Simon Cuevas. But now they've been indicted on charges of injury to a child with bodily harm. Two other teens in the case also had their charges lowered. Cuevas was shot and killed near Brewer Academy back in April after a group attacked him. Investigators say the suspects planned the attack together. There was a fifth suspect in this case, but he died from a self-inflicted gunshot back in August.
Texas and Louisiana's fights over laws pushing 10 Commandments posters into public classrooms will continue. The 5th U.S. Circuit Court will consider the cases next year. In August, a federal judge blocked Texas law, finding it unconstitutional in a lawsuit brought by 16 families and the ACLU of Texas. Now, there are several San Antonio school districts involved in this case, including Alamo Heights, Northeast, Northside, and Lackland ISDs. According to the Texas Tribune, the hearing is set for January 20th.
A cheaper way to get weight loss drugs may soon be available for millions of Americans. Coming up, we'll have the details on these new potential prices.
All right, we are back now. The price of some weight loss drugs could soon go down. That would be good news for a lot of people. Today, the Trump administration announced a deal with major drug makers Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly. And some of those popular weight loss drugs include Wegovy and Zepbound.
This will slash the cost of Wegovy from $1,350 a month to ultimately $250 a month, and reduce the monthly cost of Zepbound from $1,080 to $346.
The administration also says this will cover severely obese patients with Medicare with a copay of $50, potentially starting mid next year. It is important to know that prices will vary based on your insurance policy, and because these are prescription drugs, be sure to consult with your doctor on availability. Well, local businesses are celebrating Veterans Day this upcoming Tuesday with some nice deals.
Yeah, veterans and active military can get deals on discounted food, services, and a whole lot more. So now is the time to get out your phone, open the camera on your phone, because you'll want to scan this right here, this QR code. It will take you to our website where we have a long list of deals for veterans. There are discounts at places like Pluckers, Whataburger, Six Flags, and Target, just to name a few. Also a reminder here, city offices will be closed for Veterans Day, but trash and recycling services continue as normal.
Very good. And let's one more time say thank you to all of our military veterans who are out there watching. We love you, and we love the weather. It's been pretty nice outside, but again, Mr. Caskey's been teasing some changes here, perhaps in time for the weekend.
You know, I say we have two kinds of fronts this time of year here in South Central Texas. The ones that just kind of move through, you don't really notice them. Then the ones that just smack you in the face. Guess what one this is?
Smacker?
It is my favorite type this time of year. You're going to know right when it hits on Sunday. Record challenging warmth, though, between now and then. Tomorrow and Saturday, we could tie or even break record high temperatures. Then the cold front hits early Sunday morning, windy and turning cooler throughout the day on Sunday. And the coldest air yet is in place for Monday and Tuesday, especially in the mornings. We're down in the 30s. So look at our afternoon high temperature trend. 88 on Friday, 88 on Saturday. That's 13 degrees above average for this time of year. The record high tomorrow is 88, so our forecast would be to tie that. Saturday, the record is 90. It's within reach. We'll be around 88. But notice Sunday, only 65, and Monday, the warmest we get is 63 because of this cold front. It's going to be a brief two-day chill from this front. Right now, 70s and 80s across the state, even Laredo at 90 degrees. The core of the cold air has yet to move into the lower 48. But it's brewing up in Canada right now. Look at the temperatures in the single digits to teens in northern Canada. That's going to be the source region for this cold air as it plunges southward. And it is unseasonably cold for this time of year, and it's going to overspread the eastern half of the U.S. And of course, we will be clipped by it. But the core of the cold air will be around the Great Lakes and parts of the Midwest. I mean, we're talking temperatures about 15 to 20 degrees below average along and east of the Mississippi here. And around here, we'll still be below average, but not as significantly below average because the core of the cold air is just outside of Texas. But check out Monday morning. Okay, we're fast forwarding here. We could briefly hit freezing in parts of the hill country Monday morning. Around town, we're expecting 37 in San Antonio and then trim off a few degrees in outlying areas. But it's just 2 mornings where we have to deal with the chill down in the 30s. That's Monday and Tuesday. So back to work, back to school, back to a jacket. Monday morning and Tuesday morning at the bus stop. The wind's going to pick up as well. That's another headline with this front. The wind's going to shift out of the north before sunrise on Sunday. That's when the front moves through. And again, it's a slap you in the face kind of cold front. The winds are going to quickly pick up, gusting to 45 miles per hour from before sunrise on Sunday all the way through the noon hour, and then not as gusty in the afternoon, but still very, very noticeable. So just plan for some gusts up to 45 miles per hour on Sunday, especially the first half of the day. 59 in the morning tomorrow, 81 at noon, 88 the high. Again, that would tie the record for the day. A little bit of fog early, but probably not problematic. Kerrville could hit 91 tomorrow. Cotulla 95. Very spring-like temperatures. And then the bottom falls out as we get into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. The updated drought monitor coming up at 6.
All right, Adam, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Larry, just a shock for the Dallas Cowboys today and their fans as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Their fans, the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys, the death of 24-year-old Marshon Neland. Coming up, the Dallas Cowboys released a statement about that. And last night in the NBA, the Spurs, they lost a very tough game at the LA Lakers. Coming up. Dallas Cowboys defensive end Marshon Neland died this morning. He was 24 years old. A statement from the Frisco Police Department said Neland was found with what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Police said they found Neland following a vehicle pursuit, a crash, and then search on foot. Neland played in 7 games this season, collecting 12 tackles and 1 sack. This past Monday, he recovered a blocked punt and the touchdown for the Cowboys' loss to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Cowboys released a statement quoted as with extreme sadness that the Dallas Cowboys share that Marshon Neland tragically passed away this morning. Marshon was a beloved teammate and member of our organization. Our thoughts and prayers regarding Marshon are with his girlfriend Catalina and his family, end quote. Victor Wembanyama is now 0 for 5 when playing against Luka Doncic. Spurs at the Lakers last night, second quarter. Wembanyama blows by a defender and then dunks all over Bronny James. Wemby led the Spurs with 19 points, but he fouled out in the fourth quarter with $1:40 to go. The Spurs led by as many as 12 points in the third, only to watch the Lakers come back. Closing seconds, Marcus Smart commits an inbound violation with the Lakers up 2. He stepped over to the line, so the Spurs get another shot. Julian Champagnie can't connect, but he gets fouled. Now, he missed the first free throw, and then he missed the second one on purpose, looking for a tip-in, but it didn't happen, and the Spurs fall to the Lakers 118 to 116.
I feel like we gave ourselves a chance to win the game. I mean, that's just how it played out. I mean, we shouldn't have been in that position. We had the lead early in the second half. I mean, at the end of the game, we did our best to give ourselves a chance to win. So
I thought the effort and competitiveness was great. I think the attention to detail and some of the decision making and discipline needs to improve. But I thought at the end they actually were a little bit more locked in, I guess. But we still had some real punishable miscues that really put us in a bind there that didn't make them earn some points. We put them on the foul line and just breakdowns.
And the Spurs are back home to play the Rockets tomorrow night at 6:30 in an NBA Cup group game. In college football, the UTSA Roadrunners will play at South Florida tonight at 6:30 at Raymond James Stadium. The Bulls are favored by 13.5, and you can watch that game on ESPN.
All right, Larry, thank you.
Yep. Maybe they can pull off another upset this week. We'll see. All right, we'll be back after a break.
Here's a look at what is coming up tonight on ABC's Prime Time. At 7 o'clock, it is 911. At 8 o'clock, we have 911 Nashville. 9 o'clock, Grey's Anatomy, followed by the Night Beat at 10.
All right, San Antonio, our neighbors need your help. On Monday, November the 10th, KSAT Community and our partners, RBFCU and University Health, are teaming up with the San Antonio Food Bank and Meals on Wheels SA for one powerful day of giving. So from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m., we'll be collecting food and resources to help local families impacted by the government shutdown and SNAP suspension. The donation drive is happening at the Pinstack location off Loop 410. The drop-offs will begin at 9 a.m., but you can bring donations as early as 7 a.m. Again, this is on Monday. And pet food is also encouraged. Anyone who donates will receive a $5 game card from Pinstack, so we hope that you can help us out early next week.
We showed you a traffic trouble spot along Loop 410. Here's a bit of a backup on I-37 now. This is at Hackberry. This is headed north as you're headed towards I-10 there. This is a lane of traffic backing up to get on that interchange. It typically does this time of day. So just something to watch out here for I-37 at Hackberry. Adam.
Oh, get ready for some changes. It all happens early Sunday morning when our cold front arrives. Until then, record challenging warmth, feeling like spring, some humidity in the air, upper 80s near 90 Friday and Saturday. Sunday morning, temperatures cool off. The warmest we'll get is about 65 on Sunday with the gusty winds and a high fire danger too because of the very dry air along with the high winds and of course our very dry vegetation. So any fire that could start would spread rapidly.
All right, Adam, thank you. Thanks for watching the news at 5.